Hello, thank you so much for joining me. Today I am back in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. So we are back here now. This is our third time here. And it is lovely, lovely, lovely. It is toasty warm and quite humid. So we ended up treating ourselves, or I should say Jay treated us to a hotel. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. It's like the best. It's been about 6 months since the last time we slept inside of somewhere. So last time we got a hotel was for my birthday in January, and it is now June. So it's been a little bit, feels good, well deserved. It has a pool, so definitely know what I'm doing in between classes. And I'm so glad you joined me for today's yin. Our practice today is really going to be focused on what we call in yoga Santosha. So this is one of the yamas, and Niyamas is what they're called, and they are part of the 8 limbs of yoga. And our Santosha is our contentment. So I have a quote about Santosha that I'm going to read at the beginning and the end of practice, just so we can kind of let that marinate in with us as we practice, as we relax and ease into each posture of our yin. So Santosha again means contentment. This quote is from Deborah Adele. Discontentment is the illusion that there can be something else in the moment. I'll read it one more time because there was a car passing by. Discontentment is the illusion that there can be something else in the moment. So as much as we think about our contentment, think about what makes you discontent. What areas of your life are you constantly seeking more? What could we change in order to create that contentment? And really, the value of contentment may be being almost more valuable than the ups and downs of joy and excitement, but having a steady level of contentment within your existence and how much satisfaction that can bring in your life. So when we are ready, we will be using 2 blocks for today's practice, at least one. I always like for you to have 2 because it feels good. As a reminder, this is my pup Chai. She'll be hanging out with us today during practice. Come here, Chai Chai. Let's not eat anything. Come on, come here, come here. When we're ready, we're gonna get started in a comfortable seat. I always take that block directly under my sit bones. I do that in order to grant myself a little bit of height. This allows my hips to open a little wider, and I scooch to the very edge of that block so I can put it right at the back end of my sit bones. So then I can start to rotate my pelvis forward, grounding down into the legs, beginning to lengthen the front side body. So just let the breath flow in and out. Let it be spontaneous. You don't have to be rigid here. Thinking about opening that front side body, drawing the shoulders down and back. Think about blooming a flower. The petals being our shoulders, our hips, rotating that pelvis forward, the center of that belly, that solar plexus being that center of the flower. Think about how a flower blooms and how that center portion really becomes bulbous and presses forward. Close the eyes, let the elbows hang heavy, palms can face down to ground or flip up to receive. Just let your breath flow. Breathing in, breathing out without expectation, without requirement. As we take our time to get ourselves here. Onto our mat, into our bodies, out of our working mind. As we begin to think of all the different roles we have in our lives, all of the hats we wear, take these first few breaths just to take off each of those hats. Taking off the hats of responsibility, who you need to be for others, the responsibility you have for yourself, your dependents, even your pets. Letting yourself come to this practice is just you. The you have spent your time being, your entire life, and that includes all of the yous you have ever been. We soften the space between the brows, drop the shoulders, bring the breath in deeper. With every inhale, expand the lungs. Filling the breath, maybe taking that extra sip at the top. Gently releasing each breath softly, dropping the tension from the body as you exhale. Pull the navel up and in to really let go of all of that old breath, everything we just inhaled. Empty the lungs complete. This makes more space for a deeper inhale. Flooding the body with oxygen. Using that oxygen as a form of gratitude. Appreciation, joy, and love for yourself. Being grateful you've shown up for your body today. Coming into stillness, finding your way to your contentment. Staying with these deep, slow breaths. Staying here in the Sukhasana, keeping the eyes rested and each vertebrae of the spine stacked. Relaxing the scalp, the ears, the cheeks. Softening the brow, letting the eyes rest heavy. Relax the jaw, and maybe even letting the mouth fall open. As the shoulders drop down, relax the muscles of the neck and the trap. Slightly tucking the chin, maybe even taking the gaze down towards the ground. Letting things relax, let the arms get heavy. Put no effort into the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, and the hands. As the spine stays stacked and the breath stays moving, soften the chest, relax the ribs, the backside body. Soften the flank area near the kidneys as we let the belly flop. Don't hold it into shape. Settling into the hips, let go of the glutes. Relax the outsides of the thighs, the tops of the thighs. Then relax the inner thigh. As the back of the thigh softens, the hamstrings loosen. Let the knees get a little heavier. As the calves let go, the shins, the ankles, and the feet relax. Putting no effort into the toes. Let the soles of the feet feel warm. Imagining the warmth in the soles of the feet. Even if the feet are cold, I want you to imagine warmth in the bottoms of the feet. As we stay in the state of being, removing ourselves from the world of doing, embracing the slowness, as we are not here to rush. Finding a rhythm in the breath or honoring your Ujjayi pranayama if it is in your practice. Even inhales and exhales. This rhythmic breathing helps the body relax, helps the nervous system know we're okay. It's an excellent way to fall asleep as well. Two more breaths, just like this. In the bottom of that breath, release the hands down to the side, softly open the palms to face forward. Gently roll the shoulders down and back without force or a lot of exertion. Inhale like you're moving underwater. Slowly bring the hands up overhead. Palms face one another. Take the gaze up to the sky. Big inhale here. On the exhale, softly fold forward, but try to hinge the hips as far forward as you can. Lead with the belly for as long as you can. Leading with the belly first, then the chest, then the hands. Let the head drape naturally. Now the fingertips can face and touch the ground ahead of you. Maybe tense the fingers. You can keep a long spine, a long neck if that feels more support. Or if it feels good in the body, around the body. Trying to bring the third eye to the ground in front of you. So noticing that we're not bringing the top of the head to the ground in front of us, not necessarily tucking that chin in. We don't want to overextend the cervical spine. We spend plenty of time with our heads down. Keep the neck long. Think about leading with the clavicle, that front of the chest down in front of you. You can let each breath flow through you like an ocean's wave, inhaling to elongate the spine. Exhaling to surrender more. Palms can face up as a sign of surrender. Honor what feels best for you wherever you're at. Come back to your rhythmic breath. And let yourself just be here. Bringing in 2 more slow breaths. Filling the lungs to the top. Letting it all out on those exhales. Moving as slowly as you can. Bring the fingers to the ground or the mat in front of you and slowly roll up. One vertebrae at a time. Imagine if you took just as long to get out of that pose as we spent in it. Bringing the head up very last. Let's bloom our flower. Draw the shoulders down and back, pressing the solar plexus forward. Maybe even lift the chin up to the sky. As we drop the shoulders, take 2 breaths here just to neutralize. The inhales, welcome that blood flow, that oxygen, that nourishment to the body. And the exhales offer release, relaxation. Moving slowly and mindfully, let us roll the body forward to a tabletop. Hands below shoulders, knees under hips. Spread those fingers wide. As we rock the hips from side to side, shift the weight from side to side. Opening and thanking the glutes, thanking the hips. That first pose we did is not an easy one. That forward fold with the lotus legs can sometimes be a lot for the hips, but it's okay, they deserve it. It's not something we do for them often. Coming into center, I want you to find circles with the hips. Guide the hips back towards the heels, out and around. Change the flare of the pelvis as you do so. Pressing the pelvis back, flare the tail up, almost like we're coming into a cow. And as you press to the side, find a more neutral pelvis as we then tuck the tailbone as we press forward as if we're finding a cat. Notice how your breath starts to naturally pair with these movements. Notice how the slower we go, the easier it is to pair our movement with our breath. Switch directions. As we come into neutral, inhale, cow, drop the belly down, lift the chin up to the sky, hold the pose, not the breath. Taking full breaths here, pressing that navel down, lifting the tailbone high, lifting the gaze up high, lifting up out of the shoulders. So not dropping into the shoulders here and collapsing, but pulling the back of the heart up, pulling the top of the head up, then looking up. One more inhale. Exhale, cat, tuck the tailbone, pull the back of the ribs up to the sky, pull those shoulder blades apart, pull the chin in towards the chest, hold the pose, not the breath. Notice how different it feels on the inhales versus the exhales. Put a little bit more effort into it. One more inhale here. And then exhale into cow. Drop the belly. Finding a neutral spine, roll out the ankle, scrunch and flex the feet. Bring a little energy into the ankles, into the feet, lots of love, lots of gratitude for these ankles and feet. Roll them in both directions, scrunch the toes, spread them wide. And when you're ready, knees out wide, toes come to touch. On the inhale, press the heart forward. On the exhale, find your favorite variation of child's pose. Option to press the hands down into the mat, slow surrender. So that pressure of the hands into the mat asks the shoulders to be guided down, the spine away from the ears so we can surrender the third eye with plenty of space. Option to take one ear to the mat or the other. This feels like a lot on the shoulders. We can always bring the hands to the forearms, rest the third eye on stacked fists. You always have the option to find more of an embryo where the hands are draped down by the sides. Again, one ear to the mat or the other. Find the variation of this that you love the most. Maybe this all just feels like a lot today. Take a pillow directly under the belly, under the head. Give yourself support. Honor yourself with breath. Honor your body with stillness. And just be here. Bring in 2 more slow breaths. Filling the lungs with nourishing oxygen for the body. body, letting those exhales surrender you. So we slowly lift the gaze, tent the fingers, and gently walk the hands back just a few inches. So we plant down in the hands, press the heart and body forward, extend the legs long, press the hips to the ground, lift the chin up to the sky. Finding a seal pose here, roll one ear to the shoulder and then the other. Two more loving breaths here. The head comes back into center. Slowly guide the tail up, back into a tabletop. Hands below shoulders, knees under hips. Roll through anything, move anything around that you see fit. Little tiny wiggles, tucking the tailbone, tucking the toes under. Maybe a little extra love for the wrists and the hands. Two more breaths. Option to roll through the shoulders or just take one ear to the shoulder. Finding our way back into center, we're going to take one of our blocks to use it as a pillow. So we're going to plant it right in line with the face. As we pull the shoulder blades apart, lengthen the neck, inhale, sweep the right arm up to the sky. So we're going to unwind here, open, open, open. One more inhale, reach back a little further. And then the exhale, dive that arm under the left arm. So threaded needle, we're going to reach, reach, reach as far over as we can. Then surrender the shoulder down. Then rest the temple on the block. Just breathe here. Taking 3 breaths before we find what variation we want. Keeping length in the neck. Toes can be tucked under, feet can be soft. Notice if maybe you want the knees out a little wider, that's okay too. You can always find those child's pose legs if you prefer. Option to have the left hand in front of the face. You can press into that left hand, create a deeper twist. Option to take that left arm up to the top of the mat. Option to take that left hand around to the small of the back. So the back of that hand is resting, reaching for that right hip crease. Pulling that left shoulder back if we took it. Pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. Getting yourself centered, coming back to your breath. Close the eyes and just breathe. Let the inhales expand the ribs. And those exhales soften the body. Bringing in 3 more deep breaths. Let's inhale to expand those ribs. Exhale to twist just a little further. The bottom of that final exhale, slowly bring that left hand back in front of the face. With time, slow and controlled, press down into the left hand. Slowly begin to peel the body up. And as you inhale, reach the right arm up, up, up to the sky. Unwind back and behind. One more inhale here. And the exhale, slowly return back to center. Roll out those shoulders. Draw the chin to the chest as you roll through the shoulders. Lengthen the back of the neck. Roll through in both directions. Notice what the body needs, what the body wants. As we meet back into neutral, find one breath here. Bottom of that breath, inhale, reach the left arm up, 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 reach it up and back, open it. And on the exhale, thread the needle, dive that left hand under the right. Reach, reach, reach as far as you can, then find your surrender. Reach, 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 then find your surrender. Resting the head on the block, take 3 breaths here before you find which variation you wish to honor. Just getting yourself comfortable, noticing if we want the knees at hip distance, if you choose to have them a little wider. I like mine a little wider, it just makes more room for my belly, makes my life a little easier. I feel like I can relax a little bit more. Option to have the right hand in front of the face, pressing into that right hand, finding a deeper twist. Option to take that right arm up overhead, reaching to the top of the mat. Option to take that right hand around the small of the back, reaching for that left hip crease. If we choose that option, be mindful of pulling the right shoulder down and back, pulling it away from the ear, opening the shoulders as we twist. Easing into that final variation. Just breathe. Bringing in 3 more deep breaths. Inhaling to expand those ribs. And exhaling to wring it out a little bit more. Get everything you need from this. In the very bottom of that breath, bring the right hand back to the mat. Inhale, reach the left arm up, 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 up. Reach it up and back. Turn those shoulders open. One more inhale. And then the exhale, slowly return the hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips. Roll through those shoulders. 2 breaths here, however you'd like to be. Option to take the chin to the chest as we roll through these shoulders. Finding center again, extend the right leg long. Keep the ball mount to the foot onto the mat. Just rock back and forth. Stretch out the ankle, thank the body, thank the legs. Just as much as that was for the upper body, it also is for the lower. Finding appreciation in it all. Knees back below, hips, left leg extends, ball mount to the foot stays on the mat, rock back and forth. Opening the calf, thanking the ankle. A lot to be grateful for in these legs. As the knees return back into center. From our tabletop, extend the body long, the legs long. Rest the entirety of the front side body down as we take our blocks to frame our face. Taking these blocks so we can rest the elbows or the triceps upon the blocks. Bringing the hands into heart center, Anjane Mudra. When you're ready, inhale, lift the chin up to the sky. On the exhale, rest the third eye down onto the mat. You can keep the hands here in prayer. You can rest them at the top of the neck. Right at the base, you could find massage for the traps in the neck and the shoulders. If this feels like a lot, we can remove the blocks. Just taking the back of the arm onto the mat. But taking this time to open the shoulders. Breathe into the body. See what it takes to just exist here. Bringing in 3 more slow breaths. And that final breath, really inhale, try to lift that spine up to the sky. And the exhale, pancake the body, let the spine touch the mat. So we slowly extend the arms long, take your time removing the blocks. Resting the third eye onto a block. Draping the hands down by the sides. Letting the shoulders roll and round forward. Let the third eye surrender. Palms face up. Let the heels flop wide. The elbows roll out. 3 slow breaths here. From the very bottom of that breath, let the inhalation drag the hands back below the shoulders. As slowly as you can, peel the body up 1 vertebrae at a time. All the way back up to that tabletop. As we then wag the tail, look back at the tail. Try to pull the outside of the hip to the top of the shoulder, make that crescent shape with the spine. Then turning that into barrel rolls, so combining that movement with the cat and cow is when we find our barrel rolls. As we're scraping the rib cage along the inside of a barrel, as far in every direction as you can. And switching directions of those barrel rolls. The body eventually comes back into center very slowly and mindfully. Make your way up towards the top of your mat. Shifting over onto the sit bones, plant the feet flat in front of us. As we hook the hands behind the knees, bloom our flower, open the heart, big inhale. And as you exhale, slow surrender, all the way flat onto the back. Place the hands on the belly, drop the shoulders down. Wiggle the hips around, remove the flesh from under the sit bones as you walk the feet up close to the glutes. Coming back to those slow, gentle breaths. See if we can align each vertebrae evenly and flat on the mat. Notice if we need to lift and tuck that tailbone to realign the spine down, but let your body be glued to the ground. As we heel toe the feet into touch, let the knees butterfly open, finding our Supta Baddha Konasana. Option to take the blocks under the knees or the thighs for support. Let yourself just breathe. Bringing in 2 more slow breaths. Option to stay as you are. You could cross the legs, lotus style. You could extend the legs long, but I want you to find your most comfortable variation of our final Shavasana. Finding a restful place where we can seal in our practice. Letting the head get heavier, drop the shoulders. The body becomes softer. Let go of the breath. Let go of the hips, the legs, the feet flop. Take the arms in any variation you choose. As you allow yourself these final moments of contentment. Releasing any need for more. Knowing that this is enough and you are enough. Slowly begin to bring your inhales deeper. Letting those inhales nourish the body. Those exhales soften the mind. Bringing small micro movements to the fingers, the toes, the wrists, and the ankles. Just begin to roll out the wrists, roll out the ankles, and reach the arms up overhead for a good morning stretch. So you gently roll on to your preferred side in a supported fetal position. Discontentment is the illusion that there can be something else in the moment. Taking 2 more breaths into your Santosha, this warm feeling of contentment. As you gently press yourself up when you're ready, we will share a single breath together, sealing today's practice. As we rub the hands together, creating that friction and warmth, take that warmth into an Anjali Mudra, hands at prayer, hands at heart center. Draw the shoulders down and back, empty the lungs. Together we pull in a slow, deep, mindful inhale. Fill the lungs all the way to the top. Bring in a little bit more. One more sip, you got it. Then we let it go. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May your entire universe be filled with peace, joy, love, and light. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Whew, I needed that. I don't know about you, but I really needed that. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you following along. I hope your mind feels well. I hope your body feels good. And I cannot wait to see you next time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I love, love, love you. I'll see you next time. Mwah.